Investigation. Sergeant Mattingly and Detectives Cobb.
Friday and began our grand jury presentation on Monday. As long as the case is making its way through our legal system, I can only speak in general terms about our independent investigation and findings. As the prosecutor, I am prohibited by the Kentucky Rules of Professional Conduct from making public comments that could in any way prejudice this case as it moves forward. Each state has different rules about what prosecutors can and cannot say. The Kentucky rules are clear that I'm prohibited from making comments that could sway public opinion or heighten public condemnation of those involved in the case. These are crucial rules to ensure due process under the Constitution. When prosecutors prematurely release information about the case to the public, it can risk justice by poisoning the jury pool, violating the accused's rights to a fair trial, and even jeopardizing the final verdict. The success of our legal system is predicated on the principle that the accused is innocent until proven guilty. Despite passions, opinions, and desire for every detail to be known, the rule of law must apply. Justice must be done. In the early morning hours of March 13th, officers from LMPD executed a search warrant at 3003 Springfield Drive, apartment 4. This was Miss Breonna Taylor's residence. The officers were advised by superiors to knock and announce their presence in serving this specific search warrant. The scope of our investigation did not include the obtainment of that warrant by LMPD's Criminal Interdiction Division. Federal law enforcement partners are conducting that investigation. Sergeant Mattingly and Detectives Cosgrove and Hankison had no known involvement in the preceding investigation or obtainment of the search warrant. They were called into duty as extra personnel to effectuate the service of the search warrant. They only had information conveyed to them during their prior briefing. Evidence shows that officers both knocked and announced their presence at the apartment. The officers' statements about their announcement are corroborated by an independent witness who was near in proximity to apartment 4. In other words, the warrant was not served as a no-knock warrant. When officers were unable to get anyone to answer or open the door to apartment 4, the decision was made to breach the door. After breaching the door, Sergeant Mattingly was the first and only officer to enter the residence. Sergeant Mattingly identified 2 individuals standing beside one another at the end of the hall, a male and a female. In his statement, he says that the male was holding a gun, arms extended in a shooting stance. Sergeant Mattingly saw the man's gun fire, heard a boom, and immediately knew he was shot as a result of feeling heat in his upper thigh. Kenneth Walker fired the shot that hit Sergeant Mattingly, and there's no evidence to support that Sergeant Mattingly was hit by friendly fire from other officers. Mr. Walker admitted that he fired one shot and was the first to shoot. In addition to all the testimony, the ballistics report shows that the round that struck Sergeant Mattingly was fired from a 9mm handgun. The LMPD officers fired 40 caliber handguns. Sergeant Mattingly returned fire down the hallway. Mattingly fired 6 shots. Almost simultaneously, Detective Cosgrove, also in the doorway, shot 16 times. This all took place in a matter of seconds. In total, 6 bullets struck Ms. Taylor. Medical evidence obtained by our team indicates that only 1 shot was fatal. Further medical evidence shows that Ms. Taylor would have died from the fatal shot within a few seconds to 2 minutes after being struck. Detective Hankison fired his weapon 10 times, including from a outside sliding glass door and through a bedroom window. Some bullets traveled through apartment 4 and into apartment 3 before some exited that apartment. At the time, 3 residents of apartment 3 were at home, including a male, a pregnant female, and a child. There is no conclusive evidence that any bullets fired from Detective Hankison's weapon struck Ms. Taylor. The KSP ballistics analysis did not identify which of the 3 officers fired the fatal shot. After receiving that information, I asked the FBI crime lab to conduct its own analysis to see if they reached the same results. The FBI ballistics analysis concluded the fatal shot was fired by Detective Cosgrove. Our office looked at both reports to determine if there were major differences in the procedures used by each lab that would have led the FBI to identify who fired the fatal shot. Both law enforcement agencies use similar equipment and analysis, and each lab is highly respected for their work. There was nothing our investigators could point to, nor anything provided by the respective agencies that directly explains why one lab made the call while another did not. I think it is worth repeating again that our investigation found that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in their use of force after having been fired upon by Kenneth Walker. Secondary to this justification, the KSP and FBI ballistics analysis reached different conclusions, creating a reasonable doubt in the evidence about who fired the fatal shot. I certainly understand the public's desire for answers, and many have questioned the length of the investigation. Simply put, we had to try every means necessary to determine who fired the fatal shot before the investigation could be completed. With a thorough and complete knowledge of all evidence collected in this case, lawyers with our Office of Special Prosecutions presented the findings of our independent investigation before a grand jury comprised of Jefferson County residents beginning on Monday and concluding today. In Fletcher v. Graham, the Kentucky Supreme Court said that the grand jury has competing but balanced functions. On the one hand, its purpose is to investigate allegations of criminal conduct and determine if there is probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed. On the other, the grand jury serves to protect the public against unfounded criminal prosecutions where probable cause is lacking. The grand jury is unique in our criminal justice system because it operates independent of the court and the prosecutor. The hallmark of the grand jury is its independence from outside influence. This independence is necessary to ensure that justice is done both for the victims and for the accused. After hearing the evidence from our team of prosecutors, the grand jury voted to return an indictment against Detective Hankison for 3 counts of wanton endangerment for wantonly placing the 3 individuals in apartment 3 in danger of serious physical injury or death. The charge of wanton endangerment in the first degree is a Class D felony, and if found guilty, the accused can serve up to 5 years for each count. Kentucky law states that a person is guilty of wanton endangerment in the first degree when, under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life, he wantonly engages in conduct which creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to another person. My office is prepared to prove these charges at trial. However, it's important to note that he is presumed innocent until proven guilty. During the last 6 months, we've all heard mention of possible charges that could be brought in this case. It's important to understand that all the charges that have been mentioned have specific meanings and ramifications. Criminal homicide encompasses the taking of a life by another. While there are 6 possible homicide charges under Kentucky law, these charges are not applicable to the facts before us because our investigation showed and the grand jury agreed that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in the return of deadly fire after having been fired upon by Kenneth Walker. Let me state that again. According to Kentucky law, use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves. This justification bars us from pursuing criminal charges in Miss Breonna Taylor's death. The truth is now before us. The facts have been examined, and a grand jury comprised of our peers and fellow citizens has made a decision. Justice is not often easy, does not fit the mold of public opinion, and it does not conform to shifting standards. It answers only to the facts and to the law. With this in mind, we must now ask ourselves, where do we go from here? Will we continue to prosecute the charges brought in this case as it now proceeds through the justice system and moves to trial? That is our responsibility. And this will be done while the FBI continues its investigation into potential violations of federal law. I know that not everyone will be satisfied with the charges we've reported today. My team set out to investigate the circumstances surrounding Ms. Taylor's death. We did it with a singular goal in mind, pursuing the truth. Kentuckians deserve no less. The city of Louisville deserves no less. Every person has an idea of what they think justice is. My role as special prosecutor in this case is to set aside everything in pursuit of the truth. My job is to present the facts to the grand jury, and the grand jury then applies those facts to the law. If we simply act on emotion or outrage, there is no justice. Mob justice is not justice. Justice sought by violence is not justice. It just becomes revenge. And in our system, criminal justice isn't the quest for revenge. It's the quest for truth, evidence, and facts, and the use of that truth as we fairly apply our laws. Our reaction to the truth today says what kind of society we want to be. Do we really want the truth, or do we want a truth that fits our narrative? Do we want the facts, or are we content to blindly accept our own version of events? We as a community must make this decision. I understand that Miss Breonna Taylor's death has become a part of a national story and conversation. But we must also remember the facts and the collection of evidence in this case are different than cases elsewhere in the country. Each is unique and cannot be compared. There will be celebrities, influencers, and activists who, having never lived in Kentucky, will try to tell us how to feel, suggesting they understand the facts of this case and that they know our community and the Commonwealth better than we do. But they don't. Let's not give in to their attempts to influence our thinking or capture our emotions. At the end of the day, it is up to us. We live here together. We work here and raise our families here together. I urge those protesting on the streets to remember this. Peaceful protests are your right as an American citizen. Instigating violence and destruction are not. I've spoken with both Mayor Fisher and Governor Beshears in the days leading up to this announcement, and I urge them to do what is necessary to maintain law and order and to protect our cities and our people. We have a long road ahead, both as we pursue this case through the criminal system and as we address the pain in the Louisville community. I'm committed to being part of the healing process. When tragedy occurs, we must mourn. We must also do everything we can to prevent it from happening again. Today, consistent with that view, I'm announcing that I will create a task force to review the process for securing reviewing and executing search warrants in Kentucky. The task force will consist of a variety of stakeholders, including citizens, members from the law enforcement community, representatives from the judiciary, defense attorneys, and elected leaders. I'll be issuing an executive order in the coming days to create this task force. I believe conducting a top-to-bottom review of the search warrant process is necessary to determine if changes are required and establish best practices. You have my word that I will also vigorously prosecute the criminal charges announced today. I can assure you that my team of prosecutors will continue to give this case their attention and time. We'll also continue to support the good men and women of our law enforcement community who put their lives on the line every day to protect and to serve. And I will fight for those across our state who feel like their voice isn't heard, who feel marginalized, judged, and powerless to bring about change. In a world that is forcing many of us to pick a side, I choose the side of justice. I choose the side of truth. I choose a path that moves the Commonwealth forward and toward healing. You have that choice as well. Let's make it together. Thank you, and God bless. I'll now take some questions. I won't get into the specifics of the makeup of the grand jury.
Yeah, you mentioned that Breonna Taylor was hit by 6 bullets. You identified the one that killed her. Who shot the other 5 bullets? And did Hankinson's bullet hit Ms. Taylor?
Based on the evidence, there's nothing conclusive to say that Detective Hankison's, any of his bullets hit Ms. Taylor.
I'm just curious what your message would be to the family and those who support her in the community, because based on what you're saying today, the grand jury basically found that none of the officers involved are directly responsible for Breonna Taylor's death.
Well, as I said from the beginning, and I appreciate that question, this is a
check.
And sometimes the law, the criminal law, is not adequate to respond to a tragedy. And I fully acknowledge that. And I know many that are watching today and those that are listening.
Check family, y'all ready add y'all
the response is
piece
that
of information
the
up in
grand
here.
jury was given all of the evidence, presented all of the information.
Peace, family. Welcome to another edition of Morse World TV. I'm your host, Brother Tahaka of Bouquet Bay. Can y'all hear me? Let me make sure if y'all can hear me, because I want to hear what y'all have to say, and then I'm gonna say what I have to say. Make sure. Okay. So listen, anybody want to come in? I want to hear what people have to say before I say what I have to say, because I just watched somebody say Grandmaster J NFC must scare them. What type of dumb foolishness is that? That is crazy to me. But I'm not going to say nothing. I hope he was just being sarcastic. Ziggy, John, I hope you were being sarcastic. Hey family, see, this is the thing about, if you are a subscriber to Morris World TV, you would have followed this story not only from the Breonna Taylor side, but from the Grandmaster J side. And if you followed it closely, you would know that Grandmaster J did not affect any change whatsoever. How do we know that? Now watch this. Now watch this. Grandmaster J may try to flip this as being a notch in his belt of success, where there is no success. And anybody that listened to him flip, freestyle, and try to make it look like this is a success, then they fall for that. It just goes to show again how robotic people are, how emotional people are. Because when you look at it, right, when you look at it, let's look at it for a second. Let's look at it. When we look at Hankison, the one that became the fall guy, you have to remember that he was already fired. You see, not only was he already fired, he has, as I said when I did the presentation about him, as I said, he had the worst background in his police tenure. And his tenure of being a policeman, he had the worst. So he was already thrown away. This is not no come up. He had already been accused of raping 2 women. He's already been accused of planting drugs. He was already accused of a whole bunch of behavior that's not consistent with a good police officer. He was a bad cop. So they don't want to get nobody. They really don't want to charge nobody. You understand? They really don't want to charge nobody. But if they got to sacrifice one, to keep everybody rocked to sleep, then they might as well sacrifice the one with the worst background during his career as a police. And that is Brett Hankison, whatever you call him. Now, the issue is this. This is the issue. I'm about to do a show. Let me fix my belt. The issue is this at the end of the day. It's time for us to wake up. With all of these, are y'all ready for this? With all of these social movements coming to town, Black Lives Matter, and I'm going to talk about this tonight, family. I'll be back tonight at like 8 or 9 o'clock. Black Lives Matter. Why is it that Black lives only matter when somebody is killed? Anybody ever notice that? Black Lives Matter only matter when somebody is murdered. Anybody ever notice? Am I the only ones that notice that? So we say in the Moore Side Temple of America, black according to science means death. Death, life matters, or Black Lives Matter. Why does it only matter when somebody is being killed or murdered? Why the people that's living in the most dismal conditions are not being carried out of their dismal conditions? Black Lives Matter has gotten donations of millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Why not? They're catering to the lives that are living, but they wait for somebody that's dead to show up. Honor to the dead. May God forgive and bless anything that they did wrong prior to their death. Bless the dead. But the point of the matter is the same. You even got this fraud, Angry Viking. He's reporting on the Breonna Taylor demonstration. Family, we got to do better. We got to do better, family. All of these people came out, did not change nothing. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because no one respects a beggar people. Protesting peacefully is begging. See, if you can get the people to sacrifice spending their money, if you can get the people to sacrifice some of the things that keep the wheels turning in a geographical location, you might can change something. If you can stop your children from doing something, or if you can stop doing something by the hundreds of thousands, you might can change something. In order for change to happen, something have to be sacrificed from us as a people. Threats don't do it no more. Peaceful protests don't do it no more. We have to follow through on some things to show that we're serious. This is the bottom line. You know what I mean? These idle threats, all it does is stir up emotions. Unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me that we are in 2020 and the only solution that we have is the same solution that we had in 1960. Anybody ever notice that? The only solution that we have been expressing since 1960 is the same one that we express in 2020. And this fool, Grandmaster Jay, would say, well, the definition of insanity is doing something over and over and expecting a different result. Fool, you up there protesting too. Faking like you gonna bust something, you ain't gonna bust a grape. You up there protesting too. They're doing the same thing, and you're doing the same thing, and you're expecting a different result, and that's the definition of insanity. Man, shut up. Cause you up there protesting too. You just trade in the sign for a gun and an airsoft vest. That's all you did. That's all you did. And now you're going to go live and then try to rally the troops around another lie. And these fools are going to follow it. And I'm sorry if you followed it and you're a fool. Just let's stop being a fool. How about that? Let's just stop being a fool. Now we got to come with some solutions here. That's the bottom line. We got to come with some solutions here. And we're going to use Morse World TV platform to come with some solution here. Because this is crazy. That you mean tell me. And I do understand how the criminal justice system works. In fact, it was designed not to work in our favor. That's a fact of the matter. We can't get away from that. However, if you know law, you can bend the law to your favor. You understand what I'm saying? And so the point of the matter is there supposed to be somebody that's proficient in law and say, I need to sit down with you and I need to show you where the crime was committed. Because I know you are going to look for the exit strategy to show where the crime was not committed. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to what I'm saying. The situation is this. We say more is no law. Don't do that. We need real attorneys with our best interests at heart. And I ain't talking about these attorneys that want to be celebrities. And just like they have a special prosecutor to review the evidence, we suppose that in our community have a special attorney to review the evidence so we can sit down like intelligent people and say, nah. You found this. You're on their side anyway, but we found this. This is coming from the Committee of Concerned Citizens, the Alliance for Political Accountability, from the group that cares. You found this, but we found this, and we say that he should be charged with this. And then we do our own press conference. This is how organized, civilized people work. This is how organized, civilized people work. Do you want to be a nation or not? This is how nations work. This is how communities work. We send our own investigators. We don't come and stand up there making idle threats. We don't come and stand up there posing in all black, looking goofy. We educated. We are the most intelligent people on the planet. We are the most intelligent people on the planet, and we sitting up there doing something that a savage do. A savage wave a gun and try to make you scared. A savage waves a gun and try to intimidate. A savage waves a gun. Not saying that you should not have one. Of course you should. Because if they got one, you should have one. But don't think that your gun is going to solve the problem. Intelligence rules over ignorance. Intelligence is the ruler. Ignorance is the slave. Intelligence is the ruler. Ignorance is the slave all the time. No matter where you find ignorance, it's the slave of intelligence. And even we are going to organize and we are going to execute, and we're not going to send Black Lives Matter. We're going to send the top attorneys in the country because we raise money to make sure that they bring back the lawful results that the law says, because there's no way in the world that you can sit up here and tell me that you could not find a way to hold these people accountable. And the European that gets off, Hankison, he becomes the fall guy to try to satisfy the thirst for blood. The thirst for blood. See, our people so angry from all of this oppression, generation after generation after generation after generation. Yeah, we have built up a thirst for revenge. Rightfully so. We have built up a thirst for revenge. We have built up for a thirst for justice. Some of us just built up a thirst for just what's what's just right. But nobody can sit up here and tell me that one cop shoot bullets, another cop shoot bullets, but one cop take the fall. How does that make sense? Is Hankison the only one that bust shots? If I'm not mistaken, there was another cop that bust shots also. How do only one cop take the fall? How does that work? Wasn't they together? Wasn't they together on this mission? How does that work? How do you charge one without charging at least one more? You understand what I'm saying? And we sitting up here thinking, I hope we ain't thinking that we got to win. I hope we ain't thinking we got to win, because we definitely ain't got no win. And guess what? Next, it could be your child. Next, it could be you. Next, it could be your mother, your sister, your brother, sitting up on the news, crying over you, or you sitting up on the news, crying over your family member. The next, it could be you. If we don't come together and do something, if we don't come together and organize, and when I say do something, I'm not talking about that goofy stuff. I mean, I'm not talking about that goofy stuff that these fake activists talking about. I'm talking about organizing. All that money that Black Lives Matter and got from all these celebrities, they didn't hire an attorney to review the evidence. Family, are you listening to me? Press 1 if you hear what I'm saying. All the money that was donated to Black Lives Matter, they did not hire an attorney to review the evidence. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? All of the money that was spent in marching. No one hired an attorney to review the evidence, the same evidence that you pay the special prosecutor as being a citizen of the United States of America. You don't have an attorney to look at the evidence to render your own concept of what's happening. Are we stupid? Are we stupid? We don't demand to see the evidence so we can review it. Are we stupid? Are we that dumb? Are we that crazy? Have we gone that crazy? You know what I mean? Have we gone that crazy that we have not organized to a level where we can respond to things intelligently? We don't, this is not intelligent response. And this is not intelligent response. Loading up trucks and heading to Louisiana. My apologies, shout out to Louisiana. Loading up vans and heading to Louisville, burning down buildings, tearing up buildings, throwing rocks at tanks, throwing rocks at police. That's not a responsible, intelligent response. The responsible, intelligent response would be to hold Black Lives Matter accountable, hold Grandmaster Jay accountable, hold all the antagonizers accountable. I mean, hold them accountable. And whoever the biggest grassroots organization, you hold them accountable and ask them, well, why didn't you have an attorney to review the records and go over it with the prosecutor? Oh, man, that kombucha. Man, I ain't selling no kombucha. Hey, I ain't no grandma. Drink my kombucha. Jordan, you caught that? Look, anybody know the people who own kombucha? Give them a call. I will endorse that demonstration. You understand what I'm saying? I like me some kombucha. Look, this one from yesterday. And this one from today. I mean, hey, Doug Land, I want Grandmaster Jay to come visit me. I encourage him to come visit me. And his flunkies too. I encourage him to come visit me. You know what I mean? Because I ain't the one to tell you what I'm going to do. You're going to read about what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to tell you what I'm going to do. You're going to read about what I'm going to do. You can bet. You can ask anybody who know me. Ask anybody who know me. I ain't going to tell you nothing I'm going to do. That's the difference between me. I ain't going to tell you nothing. I'm going to laugh at everything. You ever see Simony Sam? Anybody ever see Simony Sam, the cartoon? He be shit. He be all over the place. Bah, 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 bah. That little look a little bit fruity, but you know, Simony Sam. You ever see Simony Sam? Anybody ever see Simony Sam? He be banging all over the place. Bang, bang, bang. I'll be like Simony Sam. I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm trying to tell you. I ain't gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I mean, just pull up. Just pull up. All you gotta do is pull up. That's all you gotta do. Hey, let me tell you something. My queen know what to do. My pit bulls know what to do. You know what I mean? You be on all cameras, and I be just like, look at this fool. You ever see Scarface? But Scarface was high. He was on that stuff. And Scarface was high, but they was all in the camera. See, I don't do drugs. Let me get Brother Muhammad in. I don't do drugs. You understand? Hold on one second, Brother Muhammad. I don't do drugs. So I ain't high. I'm looking at you right in the monitors, like, okay. That what you want to do? Okay. You sure? Okay. And soon it's go time, We go shine. Now I'm just saying, man, y'all just trying to set me against my brother Grandmaster Jay. I do not hate or dislike Grandmaster Jay. I disagree with him, and I feel that he's here for the wrong reasons and for the wrong people. That's just my position, but I don't hate anybody. I want y'all to know that. With that being said, I got Brother Muhammad in the building. How you doing, brother? Are you there?
Peace and blessings, big bro. Yes, sir. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir, brother. I need man, I need some balance to this hyperactivity so you can really help us understand, brother. So hopefully that you can bring some clarity to this. How do you see what just happened, brother?
Well, it's definitely another slap in the face, because as we clearly understand from what we're understanding of the information that we received, that it was definitely faulty police work. They did not do their job properly, and at the end of the day, our sister is dead and gone. The city, all of them knew that they was not going to charge those police officers. They already knew that. Now, the thing that we got to understand is that everybody that's in power that have something to do with this case, we have a responsibility to hold them accountable. So we have to definitely begin our own political party and raise our own candidates and send them into those offices. Because outside of that, this will is going to continue to keep on going the way it's going. We have to take power. We can't beg for it. We can't beg for it. We have to take it, because that's what America's about. America is about your ability to take, not your ability to beg. And we've been begging these beasts for too damn long. It is upon us, with our clear vision and understanding, that this is about power. So we have to take power and then inflict our brain of justice that needs to be given. And under that tree of justice, then you will see freedom, you will see equality, you will see liberty, because we're not selling out to lesser principles. We're holding firm to the real principles that we represent each and every day. And so this is the area that we have to concentrate on, because anything else is just not going to work. The Republicans, the Democrat, they're not for us. They're the same sides of the same coin. And their coin is they want power and to stay in power. So we have to have our own, create our own political party, and then use our own politicians that we vet and say, okay, they're B1 or they're able to hold this mantle. Because if you come this way and play with the lives and the future of our people, you should lose your life.
Indeed. And brother Muhammad, let me add this. We're going to be rolling out a plan. Like I said, I don't like to talk about the plan on the internet, but we're going to be rolling out a plan called the Alliance for Political Accountability, where everybody can play a role in our own political power. You know what I mean? Our political power is going to come from a local application of using the political system, taking the political system, as you mentioned. Prophet Noble Ali makes a statement that we must take our place in the affairs of men. We're not to ask nothing. We're not to try to beg for something. We're supposed to take it. And the way that you take it, we have a prime example of how to take it. I mean, in a way that people cannot try to accuse us of being racist, cannot accuse us of being prejudiced. They can accuse us what they want, but it wouldn't even make sense to the onlooking public if we do it in a way that is supposed to be done. Let's look at the example of the Jewish plight. We look at the European Jew. The European Jew suffered the Holocaust, right? And when he suffered the Holocaust, of course, he had his European counterpart to assist him across the water. But when he suffered the Holocaust and he came into Ellis Island and he came into other parts of the United States and he was on the bottom of the barrel, the European Jew learned one thing, that Hitler was in power and everybody who sided with Hitler was in power, and that was a part of his demise. And so the European Jew decided that he would team up with people that was on the bottom with him, which would be us, those descendants from the inhabitants of Africa. And as he began to work his way to move distancing himself from us, he created candy stores in our neighborhood, Finkensteins and all of those things and all of that stuff. He sold the candy to us. He gave us loans. He gave us bread, and we thought he was our friend. But then the Jew pulled off. He took that money that he was taking from us, and he put his sons and daughters into college. They became doctors. They became lawyers. They became judges. Then they went to Hollywood. They built and grabbed and stole Hollywood, if you will. Then they stole hip hop, if you will. What happened was this. While people were still listening to the Jews complain and try to receive something from the Holocaust, the Jew was still complaining about the Holocaust, but at the same time, he was extracting the power. And so today, when a Jewish person would beat up a person of African descent because he's going in that neighborhood, the Jewish person end up going, the one that's accused, he goes to his brother, the judge, and the judge will let him go. Even when you talk about Hankison, he is going to his brother, the judge. So we know what's going to happen. So until we realize that we got to come together and we got to take power, as you say, simultaneously, reparation is on the table and all the other things need to be on the table. But we need to be taking the power, just as you said, politically, as well as patrolling our own, policing our own in the true sense, not for YouTube, not for IG, but in every sense of the word, we need to be organizing and taking the power. Stop talking crazy about the police and raise your children to become the police. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Raise your children to become the police. And if you raise your children right, they are going to administer justice right. Period.
Mm-hmm. And you know, we in the Black First B1 initiative, that's exactly what our plan is. We've decided that we're going to take over a city in Mississippi. When we get there, we're going to fire every police officer that's there and replace them with police officers who have a Black First mindset. We're going to redo the school situation. We're going to show them exactly what power is about and how do you use power in an effective manner to raise the condition of our people. And this is exactly how we have to be today. And you know, time is out for that begging and pleading and all that. Take the power and then do it.
And brother, I would love to come down there and speak to the people, brother, because we're working a program right now, you know, similar to your program. And I think we need to share our thoughts and our intelligence in order to be effective and successful. You know, we need this to happen. The one thing that we need, Brother Muhammad, we need the model to be created. Exactly. So if you can create the model in Mississippi, or I can create the model here in Baltimore or Louisville, we need the model to be created yesterday so we can spread it around the country. So if you have already initiated, or I've already initiated, let's get together and get this model done. We don't got to focus on any other city. Let's get Mississippi up and running.
Exactly. Most definitely. We're having a power summit in Mississippi next month. In Coldwater, October 16th through the 18th, and you're definitely invited. What's your email? And I'll shoot you an email with all the information, but let's do this.
Tahakabay at Gmail or at yahoo.com. Tahakabay at Gmail or Yahoo. You know, and this is what have to happen, brother. You know, sometimes we look at things at too of a broad too broadly. You know what I mean? When we can just minimize and say, okay, Mississippi is working. Mm-hmm. Mississippi is moving. Baltimore is working. Atlanta is working. We should all zero in and make that a success.
Exactly. Exactly.
And once that's a success, we can duplicate it everywhere because the model has been made.
That's right.
The model has been made. And we don't got to worry about infiltrators coming in, acting as if they're going to kill everybody if they don't yield to their demands. Because they're not killing nothing. They try to get somebody to kill something.
Exactly. Exactly, brother.
Unbelievable, brother. But yeah, I'll look for your email, brother, and I will be responding. And I'm going to tell you, we have a convention between October the 15th through the 20th But if I can find a way to get there, brother, I'm telling you, I would love to be there to share some of our program and taking some of your ideas so we can all work together and make this pop. Brother, we need to work this. We need to work this out like yesterday. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say to all those who listen to Morris World TV, if brothers saying that, listen, we need finance to help move this forward. You know what I mean? Send $1 or something. $1 ain't gonna hurt you. It takes finance to uplift the nation. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. But anything else you want to add, Brother Muhammad? I'm glad you called, brother.
You big bro. I just want to say you've been doing an excellent job on Fake Master J. I really appreciate that. I catch you every time you go. I'll be watching. Me and wife, we watch it. So you've done an excellent job of breaking that down, brother.
Thank you so much, brother. And let me say this, Brother Muhammad. You know, many people on his side will get on me because I do it so much, and they think that I'm riding the coattails or I'm using it for to be popular. But Brother Muhammad, I think you would know just as well as I know. I can tell of your charisma. Brothers like us has been popular before you two. We don't need this to be popular. And we don't need nobody coattails to be popular.
Exactly.
I'm doing it just to awaken the people. That's it.
Exactly. That's right. That's right.
But I appreciate you, my brother. I got another call in, brother. I'll be looking for that email and I will be responding in the TI words expeditiously.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I got oh my goodness. I had somebody just called in. He just dropped off. You can call back in. The link is in the chat. I'm not taking phone calls, but you are able to hit the link in the chat. It's going to bring you right in. You don't have to turn your camera on if you don't want to. But if you want to, you can turn it on. It's up to you. I just want to hear what you have to say, family, because this decision comes in such a way that they want to stroke people to believe in that justice has been served. You follow me? That's what they want to believe. They want to believe that justice has been served, but we know that justice have not been served. You know what I mean? We know justice have not been served, and we know it's not going to be served. You know what I mean? So family, I'm going to be hitting the road soon. And when I do, I want you to know that I am going to carry this message, you know, that I've been talking on here. Many people say, what you doing? What you doing? Well, try to get my coins right so I can do what I got to do. With that being said, I got the African on here. How you doing, brother?
Yo, I'm doing great, bro. I'm doing great. We watching you from West Africa.
What's happening with you?
We watching you from West Africa, and we watching you from West Africa, and we know exactly what you're doing. You're helping out your community, and you saying the right stuff. So we support you. Yeah, we don't want no war. We don't want no race war. We don't want nobody misleading us to try to be a black so-called leader when you don't have the approval from the African people in the first place. Nobody's going to fight with no white person around this world here. This is a message from my brothers in Africa. They know exactly what's going on in America, and then you cannot make people stand on the streets with guns, with no weapons, with no armored trucks. You're not ready, Grandmaster Jay. You're not ready. Because if you're really ready, you need to get weapons and you need to be ready to fight. You don't chicken out. You don't chicken out of every single standoff. You don't chicken out on it. It's just a message from my people here in Africa. And this is straight from West Africa, the jungles itself.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, brother, can you turn
I'm listening, bro.
You got a feedback coming in. Let me mute you real quick.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, let me say this. Okay, I'm going to bring you back in. I got you muted real quick. This is what I want to say to my brother, the African. The problem is not the ability to fight back. from a physical perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because you and I know that if we were truly on a mission to fight back from a physical perspective, frauds like Grandmaster Jay would be more prepared. Even if he would lose, or if we with him, rock with him, would lose, we will be more prepared. You don't pop up one day with guns acting as if you prepared to battle the greatest military, whether people choose to accept it or not, the greatest military on the planet Earth. Now, if you want to prepare and train, that's something different. If you want to protest, then say that. However, this guy is leading people to slaughter. That's his plan. Whether people choose to accept it or not, that's his plan. He's working for the other side. But somebody in the chat say that you got on the 3% ad. You're a 3%er, brother? That you got on the 3% ad. You're a 3%er, brother?
Okay. So this is what my brothers think. My brothers here in Africa, they think there's another way to work all this out by actually facing the government. If you cannot talk to the government, why don't you start popping all them cops? Why don't you create groups to start shooting down all cops? Then they understand that it's a problem for them to shoot on. Heard in California, somebody went out and shot 2 cops. Somebody did that. We don't support people. We don't support people killing people. But when it comes to reality, hey, if you want to get the point across, attack the cops. Go after the cops. That's what Africans be saying. We don't have problems with police here because we're not racist here. Go after the cops. Pop 1 or 2, 3, 4 cops, and then they'll ask, why do you pop cops? And then you say, stop killing our black people. We stop killing cops. This is against cops, not against black, bro.
But this is the issue.
Not black against black, bro.
But this is the issue. Let me say this, the African. Here in America, the problem is bigger than the cop. The problem is the law that creates the cop. That's the real problem, because you have to understand that it's the system. This is systematic. This system trains the cop to be racist or prejudiced. So shooting a cop would not be the best way to go. Why? I got a best friend of mine that I grew up with. He happened to be a cop. He ain't got nothing to do with this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Do I talk to him every day? No. I haven't talked to him in 20-some years. But when I say a best friend, I grew up with him. He ain't got nothing to do with this nonsense. Nothing. So shooting a cop is not the answer. The answer would be organize enough people to address the system and have a spokesperson to look those people who operate the system, just like in this situation, the special prosecutor, to look this special prosecutor in the eye and say, no, this is what we want. And we have to deal. We can't live in a jungle, as you say, in the jungles of Africa. We can't live like that here because it's not the environment for that. We have to move on intelligence. You follow me? We have to move on intelligence.
You see, Africa, especially the country, told all the African Americans that we have land for you. If we have real estates, we have businesses, and we wanted to get together. We want to get together with African Americans and start something. Make Africa great again. That's the idea.
All right, listen.
That's what we're thinking here.
If you're serious about that, All you have to do is email me and we can organize that. I keep hearing people saying that Africans have this and Africans have that. You know what I'm saying? But I've never seen anything materialize. So it gives the brother or the sister in America, descendants of Africans, and give them the impression that it's just talk. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you my email, and the whole point is we need to be moving on a program like yesterday. You know what I mean? So one thing for sure, everybody is not going to go to Africa. You see what I'm saying? But for those who know that option is available, then we build from that perspective. As somebody say, all of us not from Africa. That's not the issue. The issue is, do we want to start fresh in an environment that benefits us? That's the issue.
Yeah, it's quite understandable. You see, we have different tribes and different nations in Africa.
That's right.
We believe. Listen, we're watching you. I really love what you're doing. That's right. We really love what you are. You in particular, Grandmaster Day is just trying to get people killed. We know that. So what we're doing is, we want African Americans to know that Africans, we're ready to go to war. Well, it's not war time yet. It's the end of the world. This is the end of the world right now. This is the crazy tribulation times. We don't want to go to war knowing we are not going to win. So the best idea is tell our brothers in the diaspora America, hey, we are like you. You cannot even believe I speak like this. I've never been in America before, but I can speak like this. That means the new Africans are well educated. So we want our brothers to work with us and create a different Wakanda here. People are investing. We have invested right here a whole lot. So my brother, I thank you for talking to me. Drop your link. We keep talking. We get connected. All right.
I already did it. It's in the chat. tahakabay@gmail.com. Thank you, brother. So what I'm saying is going to Africa and starting fresh. What I'm saying is, if it is a starting fresh, then hey, you know what I mean? I think that we should have dual citizenship, because I believe that I'm indigenous to the Americas. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? However, I'm descendant from the inhabitants of Africa, and that's a whole nother conversation. But the point that I'm making is that we should have dual citizenship from whatever country that we either build in Africa or any of the islands, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's Africa, whether it's Trinidad, whether it's Bahamas, whatever, we should have dual citizenship, because in fact, we are indigenous to the world. You know what I'm saying? But I feel as though that I am indigenous to the Americas. And the reason why I feel as though that, because I have video of talking to my grandmother, and because I'm a Moorish American, we pride ourselves in trying to rediscover our heritage without European technology of DNA and all that. You know, we just look at history, see what it is, and then we move on it from there. And so, from old tradition, I've spoke to my grandmother. She's passed now. From, I think she was like 90 some years old, about 95, if I'm not mistaken. About 4 years ago, she passed. And before she passed, I had the opportunity to ask her some questions. And the question that I asked her was, do she remember, now she's 90, do she remember any time that her grandmother or great-grandmother, first I asked her, you know, about her great-grandmother and great-great-grandmother, and she was fortunate enough to remember them. And I asked her, do she remember any slave story narratives? Have you ever been told any slave story? You know what I'm saying? And she told me, no. And so with that being said, I asked her, was there any story that you were told about arriving to America? And my grandmother told me, and I got it on video, that there is no story about them coming to America. There is no story about, no slave story was ever passed down to her. The story is that she and her grandmother and great-grandmother lived in the hills of Virginia, and her great-great-grandfather had came from the West Indies and married her great-great-grandmother. And she said that's all she knew. When they moved to Maryland, Annapolis, Maryland, that's when they began to experience what we would call racism, because they lived in a place called Camp Parole, which is Parole in Annapolis, Maryland, and the Ku Klux Klan used to have rallies nearby. So with that being said, that slavery definitely took place. There was a small influx of people from Africa coming here on slave ship, but not what they make it out to be. And in fact, family, and I'll tell you this right now, and I don't care, my birth name is Toronto. Go figure. Do you understand? But Tahaka is the equivalent of Toronto, and I can break that down in another show or something like that. But I wasn't born with a James or Jimmy or anything like that. I mean, I wasn't born with none of that. Go figure. Go figure. Real talk. Anybody that know me, if anybody see me on Facebook, you got friends that know me growing up, they be like, Toronto. They only call me Tahaka. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's move on. We got a call in the house. Who I'm speaking with? PSA Duke. You got a public service announcement, Duke?
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to have you on the show. Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Florida, man.
The bottom of the map.
Yeah, man.
That's
yeah.
indeed, brother. What you got to add?
Just building on what you were saying as far as sovereignty, and I noticed one of the things that he keeps saying, this brother GMJ keep mentioning is us having a piece of land for ourselves, Texas and what have you. But I think that in and of itself could be a trap. I mean, it'll make it easy for them to isolate us and exterminate us if we in one particular area, when this whole land really should be a safe space for our people. You know what I mean? Wherever we go, we should be able to be safe and not be worried about being attacked or being murdered.
Absolutely.
And then another issue is I noticed on the video where he took off the Black Lives Matter shirt and he was saying like all lives matter and shit. Excuse my language. I noticed that one of the things he kept saying during that video was how we all a global family and all this nonsense. And it seemed to me he come across like a globalist. Some of the things he say, the recent Sky News interview he did, he brought up the same point of us being one family, a globalist and all this other stuff. So I feel like the end game for the situation is not necessarily just to get our people like set up. I think the end game is ultimately to do what he said and get black people to be in one particular land. And the one way to do that is if we get attacked or slaughtered on some type of large scale. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If we get attacked on some large scale, I mean, it wouldn't take nothing for the UN to get involved. And from there, that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother show, but that would lead to some crazy, to a crazy outcome. Well, so go ahead.
I really don't think that this guy, I think this guy that's here just here to cause confusion. I don't think that he has any goal that is reachable. Put it that way. To say
Right.
stuff like, give me Texas. Like that
Right.
doesn't, that's an emotional rant, or it's an organized rant to tug at somebody's emotions. You understand what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I see what you're saying. So it's
Yeah.
more he's basically parroting ideas that he heard
Yes.
to rally people behind him without actually intending to carry to follow through.
Now check this out, brother, because and people excuse me if I keep dropping this. I'm not trying to fish in anybody's pond. What I'm saying is I'm a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and it has been given a black eye by people that has been misrepresenting it. But because I am a true member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I actually identify with trying to have something for us, built by us, in the midst of the chaos and the drama that's around us, if you follow what I'm saying. So just like to your point, ain't no need to corral us into one geographical location. No, we should be able to dominate the location that we in, and we should be able to travel to and wherever we want to go and enjoy the benefits of the society that we built. Period. Point blank.
Exactly. Yeah, we want all this. Yeah.
Absolutely. So with that being said, when somebody comes upon the scene and the first thing they do is they pull out a gun and they start making idle threats and start posturing, you have to question that, because before you pulled out the gun and you made the threats and you started posturing, did you actually develop a plan? You don't come up on a battlefield and say, okay, now give me the bullets. No, you actually come with the bullets. So if you want to deal with nationhood, you first have the plan for nation building. You don't say, give me Texas. You know what? What you do is you say, I've been sitting at the table and I've been talking to such and such, and I've been talking to this people, I've been talking to that people, and this is what we have on the table. Are y'all with it or aren't y'all? And then you move on a plan. You don't walk into a rally and talk about, and then we'll get some land in Africa. We need $14 a month. That is no plan.
Right.
And anybody that follow that, believing that that is a plan, you already know how long that's gonna last.
Right. And I think a lot of the people that get so charged up by this guy, when I initially saw it, I look at things in a spiritual sense as far as balance. And I did see it as, you know, as far as the races, his counterparts, his white counterparts, it's in a way, in some form of synchronicity. It's almost like it was meant for them to see what they saw. You understand what I'm saying? Like they're not the only one. You know what I mean? So, but I never trusted the situation. I looked at it like either he is misguided or he's an agent, one or the other. Because I mean, you know what I mean? It just didn't feel right. I think a lot of people that got so charged up by his appearance, they either you know got caught up in the emotion. They might have lacked critical thinking skills. Maybe just wisdom to see things develop over time, or they wasn't really walking this walk to begin with.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden this Power Ranger jump out and everybody like, oh, I can be that too. And and I mean even down to the paintball vest, the things like wearing the paintball vest and things, people look at it like, oh, it's just a fake thing. But the reason why I think they chose some of the attire they chose is because it has a futuristic, almost Star Wars appearance, and that's to manipulate the youth. That was to appeal to the young people, because when you see the new Black Panther Party or whatnot, you know you see they wear the usual traditional uniforms. It's not that impressive to the young people.
Right.
So they got on all this Power Ranger gear to impress the young people. Another thing I think it might be with the fake vest is at the beginning of the pandemic, I ordered bulletproof vests for my family, and the wait time to get vests is like 10 to 12 weeks. The first one I ordered took about 4 weeks to come in. It came earlier than they said it would come. But I think they really had trouble getting vests. Another thing, if you already walking this walk, you gonna already have equipment. You know, you're not gonna be, oh man, I don't have a vest, so let me go and we'll just take the paintball vest. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, brother, let me tell you something. Brother, you know, I can't talk too much because years ago I acted a fool and I went to college, but brother. You just said some good stuff, bro. You don't wait till no last.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna grab this one.
Yeah, at least not the leader. I mean, like for him at his age, it's like, is he still trying to find himself? He either aging or he's still trying to find himself. People saying like, oh, this brother should have a right to change his mind. Of course he does. We all do, but I mean, why he shouldn't be leading no group of people if he's still finding himself at 60 years old and still trying to figure out where he stands on these critical issues.
And the thing is that, like you said, man, he's trying to find himself. But the thing is this, bro, even right now, he's changing his mind.
Right.
As we
I don't believe that's the case. I believe that it's something more sinister at play. But I'm just saying,
yeah. I believe that too.
For
but
those,
I'm just saying, to your point, that, people that follow him are not even recognizing that he keep on changing the script.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying for people who want to defend him and say, oh, he's just changing his mind. No, that's BS. He's not just changing his mind. They're changing their strategy as they go along. They just work in different angles.
Brother, that the funniest thing to me is this. Let me see. The funniest thing to me is this. This brother made all of these threats. Now, I don't want nobody. Now, man, I'm for peace if possible, violence if necessary. You know what I mean? I'd rather try the most peaceful resolution of any situation.
Exactly.
I mean, even if a person wants be like, I'm gonna hit you in your mouth, I'm like, man, please don't do that, man. Please.
Right.
Right.
I know. I mean, I could tell you a real OG because like people would talk about like you laughing and playing and joking, but people don't realize a lot of real OGs is like we can laugh and enjoy life because of the stuff that we seen.
Hey, bro.
And most of our enemies get dealt with. So it's like part of that laughter, having fun is seeing how ugly things can get. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Hey, look, let me tell you something, man. I mean, I'm laughing because I'm not supposed to be here right now for some of the stuff that I took.
Right.
So, that I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, from the West Side. I know exactly what you mean.
So, brother, I'm just like, I'm so grateful that I even have a presence of mind today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm grateful. Like, the way my mind is, like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't get high, I don't do nothing. Anybody that do it, but bro, I love how my mind works.
Right.
I love that. I don't want to jeopardize that demonstration.
Right. I ain't smoked weed in like 3 years now.
Yeah, I just love how my mind works. So I would never compromise that. Never, ever, ever. I don't want nothing. You know what I mean? I'm good.
Right. You think more logically as a man. I mean, the time that I did smoke, I was self-medicating from, losing people and stuff. I started drinking at 15, was an alcoholic by like 19. But, I was self-medicating. But once you get over that and once you heal from certain things, it's like when you sober, your mind work like the computer that it really is.
Absolutely. And you know what? Let me say this, bro. I tell people all the time. See, a lot of people think that I just do Moorish World TV. And I was talking to a brother today from New Jersey, a friend of mine who's a Moor. He was like, brother, he was asleep this morning. He was like, brother, when you sleep? I said, man, I'm having a good time in this life that I got. You know what I mean? I'm having a good time. But I can tell you this, bro. I tell people all the time in the temple, man, listen, I was the best fool. Good goodness and gracious. I thought Hennessy was mean that you made it. 20 years ago. Man, I thought Hennessy and Cristal meant you made it.
Yeah, right.
Man, I made it. Y'all drinking, I used to mess with people. Y'all drinking rock gut. We drink good liquor on this side. You know what I mean?
Right.
Man, I'm killing myself no different than a rock gut guy.
That's right.
So yeah, I've been some places, man, but man, I enjoy you calling, brother. I'm actually about to go live on my Moorish World TV, my Moorish station. I'm about to start a new channel because my Moorish brother said, you don't talk about Moorish no more. I said, okay, but we're going to create the channel for you because this right here, we're going to address the problems of the day and those that jeopardize all of our community. I don't care if you're Moor, if you're Black, if you're Christian, all of this stuff affects our community because
it does.
Your baby. Would you send your 16-year-old son to follow Grandmaster Jay with a soft vest?
No. And there's one more point I wanted to make actually. Okay, when they went to Stone Mountain, it was a response to a threat. The white supremacists said they was going to be killing people on the 4th of July. Right.
Right.
Okay. they did exactly what they said they was gonna do. So while all these random drive-bys around American cities, especially in Chicago, while these people, these Caucasians running around, driving around doing drive-bys, allegedly, you got Grandmaster Jay and them sitting up in damn Stone Mountain when they should have been in the hood because these drive-bys ain't carried out by our people.
And it's definitely ain't being carried out in Stone Mountain.
Right. Not the rampant amount that happened on the 4th.
Right.
A lot of this stuff that go on is just to spark conflict. Because when we was growing up in like the 90s and shit, like the murder rate was higher than it is now. It's just now it's just so many innocent bystanders. And the other point I wanted to make is just about him, making a comment about having somebody kids tied up and all that type of nonsense. It seemed like so many people overlooked that. Like it's like the sister that you had on. I was watching the other day said she was working for the government and military for like 27 years. I wish I could have got on and mentioned that part to her. What do you have to say about this brother even mentioning the idea of kidnapping kids? You understand? Because a lot of these left wing Democratic types, they allegedly involved in child trafficking. So that just that whole energy behind that, just
like, bro, like what makes a grown man? Like people see my sons, you know what I mean? I don't hide nothing. What makes a grown man say if you put a child in the car, in the trunk, and then call me?
Yeah.
What diabolical human being even consider that is an option?
Exactly. He working for the devil. And it's like, how is that any different than a 3-year-old getting hit in a drive-by in Chicago? And matter of fact, the only difference is that the kidnapping part is intentional. You know what I'm saying? It's premeditated, intentional. The drive-by part, that's somebody being reckless and really they want to go, shoot somebody and they scared to get hit themselves because they ain't really got the warrior spirit like that.
Absolutely, bro. So I definitely appreciate you, bro, man.
All right, appreciate you for having me on.
This is crazy, man. Man, you just brought out a point that made me think a little bit deeper about it. That's why I say I like my mind. Like, what type of mind would even consider that if you kidnap a child and say, I got him in the trunk? Who says something like that?
Right.
I would never say nothing like that.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that to my enemy.
Yeah, we thinking an agent of the government, but he's more like an agent of the devil. He working for somebody else. It's deeper than that. It's just some government shit.
I agree, brother. PSA Duke, thanks for calling. When I come to the Mecca, we call it the Mecca. Some call it Chirac. I call it Chicago. When I come to Chicago, brother, pull up, bro. Please.
All right, for sure, man.
Peace and love, family.
All right, appreciate you, man.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you more. With that being said, family, I got to get up out of here because I got to rappers say crap like that. So, family, listen, I'm going to try to go live tonight, family, with some slides. I just want to see if anybody else want to add in and talk about, anybody else want to call in what they think about this situation. Hankison, he has been indicted, but they said the maximum that he could get is 5 years per count. And if they run it consecutively, I'm concurring, then he can get 5 years, some probation, and keep it moving. You know what I mean? And I should do a live and say, Grandmaster Jay is going to burn the city down because that's what he promised. That's what they promise. You know what I mean? Yeah. Things that make you go, But with that being said, family, I see you tonight at 8 or 9 o'clock. 8 or 9 o'clock. We're going to be talking about something, family. I got to keep it rocking. You know what I mean? And Minnie resurrected. Man, we need to have a comedy show. I'm goofy. I like to have fun, man. We need to have a comedy show. You know what I mean? We're gonna do a stand-up comedy show on Voice World TV. Who can imitate Grandmaster Jay? The morning mental. Grand rising. Shalom. I'm waking up today and I'm thinking about the formation in Louisiana, Grand Rising. This guy's a fool. Thanks for another awakening, family. This guy's a fool, man. He's a real fool. Come on, man. When crazy man walks in his house with a COVID-19 mask on? Come on. When crazy man walks around his house with a semi-automatic weapon to go live on YouTube? Who does that? Like, for real. All right, here we go. All right, y'all got to excuse my attire. I was working today. Shout out to Giza. That's a brand of my peoples. All right, here we go. Hold up. Hold up, fam. This is gun. Then his music come on. Got me working day and night. Woo! Got me working day and night. Woo! You know, he played that old 70s demonstration. I like 70s goldies, my goodness. Then he pulled that demonstration up. And then he top it off. What did he do? He top it off with the mic. Grand Rising. He top it off with the little mic, the little jaw. He got the little jaw. And we can't forget the water. We can't forget the water. They get my man in South Styles in. We can't get the water. You get the water. He got the little mic jaw. Put the mic on. And then
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Grand Rising, Self Styles. Grand Rising.
Peace, family. Peace, family. How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. I'm just clowning Grandmaster Jay for a minute, but brother, I'm glad you have time to call in before I roll out the day. I'm just having fun right now. But
Yo,
brother, where you coming from?
I'm all over. I'm all over regional Southwest. I'm based out of Orlando, though.
All right.
I just tuned in with you, yo. I don't know if you visited this perspective. However, something that's been going on in my mind is I'm taking it all the way back to 2014. I don't know if you remember where they had a standoff with the Bundys, the Bureau of Land Management, right? And in that time frame, they were going head to head with the militias, the white militias down there in Nevada over land disputes. And every time you heard BLM on the news, it referred to Bureau of Land Management. And in that same time frame was around the time that, because I remember you building, you were saying that they have their plans 5-10 years in advance. I believe that they were already starting in that time frame. I believe that the whole DJ thing was him trying to infiltrate the culture to build some type of rapport.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And along with the militias, where they trained your mind to now focus on the Bureau of Land Management when they were losing the fight down there in Nevada with the militia, to turn it into what we know now as Black Lives Matter. He infiltrated that, you know what I'm saying? And then once that went to shit, because everybody was calling them out on their bullshit, and they shit with George Soros and all that, just going from one organization to the other organization, so on and so forth. So I see it as a big ass psychological warfare trying to fuck with people's minds, and I see this going all the way back from Trayvon to it all intertwines. You see what I'm saying?
And brother, you're right on with that. And this is why I say that the people in local areas should be very suspicious if someone from outside their local area come in acting like they want to fight the problem of that local jurisdiction. Nah.
Sure did.
You should be very suspicious. Like I'm telling you, and I said it on here before. If you come in my neighborhood and you look funny, I'm up on your car window.
Word. Word is born. Word is born. Nah, everything you're saying is right and exact though. But I've been following all this, and we rocking with you. Keep doing your thing, Poppy.
Yeah, my man. I appreciate you. You sound like you from up top, though. You sound like you from the Bronx.
Originally from Jersey City, but I'm an East Coast dude, man. The whole East Coast is my home. You know what I mean?
Blah, 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 blah.
Y'all, but let you do your thing, though, man. Peace and blessings to you
Brother,
and the family.
I appreciate you, Self Styles. Appreciate you, bro. Be safe out there, all right?
Word is born. Peace, Mo.
Peace. So, family, see, that's what it is, family. That's how the family show the love, family. We show the love, family. I'm going to be back about 8 o'clock, family. Trust me on this one. If I'm not back tonight, what's today? It's Wednesday? Today is Wednesday. If I'm not back tonight, I'll be back tomorrow with full slides, all right? If y'all want to learn anything about Moorish, I'll be live on my other channel today for the first time. I'll be live on my other channel at 5 o'clock for the first time. I'm only going to be live for about 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully that this brother don't stand me up, but he wants to ask about the Moorish paradigm. And I don't want to do it here because, as I said, my Moorish brothers and sisters said, brother, you need to leave this alone. You need to get back to Moorish. You need to get back to Moorish. And I dedicate the Moorish World TV platform to Moorish for the last 4 years, and now I want to dedicate at least a year to current events and move on the world platform as it relates to solutions. We need to talk about I want to do a video about how I became a vegan. Y'all need to hear this story, man. Y'all need to hear this. You know what I mean? I want to do a story about how I became a vegan. You know, I became a vegan because I looked at how much blood that a cow has in its body and how many cows do the average human being eat in his lifetime. And I just thought about drinking blood. Do you know a cow has about 5 gallons of blood? And when you eat the cow, just cut out the cow and just eat the blood, drink the blood. Shout out to Michael Connor, brother. I appreciate all your support. Michael Connor, he be hitting the Cash app last night. I appreciate you. He also hits the $sign. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying, brother? I definitely appreciate you and all that you do and support everything that people do. You know what I mean? Is encouragement. So I thank you for encouraging me to keep it pushing. And like I say, many of y'all that see me on Moorish World TV, I actually teach other classes on Moorish science. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just here. You know what I'm saying? I teach a class in the temple. I'm a grand sheik of a temple. I run a business. I'm a family man. So I do a lot. So many people think I'm stuck right here. They're crazy. They're crazy. I'm like an octopus. I'm like an octopus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a teaching class here. Like, sometimes at night, I'm doing a meeting here. I'm doing a meeting there. You know what I'm saying? I'm teaching on the ground. I'm doing so much. You know what I mean? I enjoy it because in the Moorish Science Temple of America, the paradigm of the Moorish Science Temple of America, we are taught that the work should be a toy, that the work should be a joy. And so I enjoy what I'm doing. So I'm going to come off right here. And then at 5 o'clock, I'm going to go live at my other platform. Matter of fact, I wonder if I can, I'm going to put the link. If anybody interested in hearing this conversation about Moorish, I'm going to try to throw the link in this comment section or in the comment section of the bottom of this video. You follow me? So with that being said, family, peace and love. I see y'all maybe later tonight or maybe at 5. You know what I mean? Abraham, y'all must be in Ghana. Has the right to abode. That's right. I need to take my main man for a walk too first. Come here. Salty. Come here. Come here, Salty. Come talk to the people real quick. I need to take Salton for a walk. You know what I mean? Salton. Look at the people. Look at the people. Look at the people, Sultan. Look at the people, Sultan. That's right. 100% bully. That's right. Don't you lick me. I ain't no ping. You trying to lick me in the face. You know what I mean? I ain't them folk. Lick me in the face. You lick me in the face, you be calling Peter. You lick me in the face, you be calling Peter. Nah, I'm playing. Peter, don't come get me. I'm just playing. Something kiss me in the mouth. Somebody gonna be calling Peter. Y'all probably think I'm crazy. That brother on something. No, I'm not. I'm just loving life. Let me Sultan. I'm just loving life, Sultan. That's right. That's right. I'm just loving life, Sultan. So peace and love, family. I appreciate y'all. I'll be talking with y'all real soon. Probably tonight or Saturday. Peace and love.